In this my little life, I have seen crisis. In this my little life, I've seen the persecution of Christians. In this my little life, I've seen dead bodies that were torn apart with babies inside. In this my little life, I've seen people who worship God and they don't know if they will be there by next week. That is faith. I thank God that he started with me from the north. I've seen all kinds of things. All kinds of things. If I tell you I love Jesus, believe me. Let me tell you this. I'm a young man, but I have been privileged to be around a few crises, including post-election violence. When the violence happened in Jos, I was there. I was in town. There were a few uprisings that have happened in Zaria. I was there. There was a time at the height of what Boko Haram was doing in Maiduguri. I went to minister for NCCF. I was about to come and take a flight from Zaria to Abuja. True story. And then they canceled the flight. Then I think it was an airline called, well, I won't mention the name. They're no longer in existence now. But then they were there. I remember the driver, I asked him, I said, can you go to Maiduguri? Because the believers were happy. Nobody was going there for justifiable reason. I mean, you could die. And I told them, I said, I'm coming. It was the NCCF that time. I said, I will come. I told the man, I said, can you take me by road? He told me how much I will pay. I said, let's go. I passed Kano. It was less than 1 hour when there was a bomb blast. And I didn't stop the journey. We went to a place called Potiskum. And there they had closed because the military were protecting those areas. I'm not saying that to command sympathy. I'm saying somewhere in the journey of your life, you will be faced with a situation where you will choose between Jesus and this life. It is milder for others. Some never even experience it. But my goodness, for some, that is the last badge they carry as they transit. You are not a true Christian if you are not taught this. That night, I did not sleep in Potiskum because of poverty. I was not poor. It was the privilege of the fellowship of the cross. We got there, it was night. They had closed the place because, fightings and the rest were going on. And I remember sleeping, that mosquitoes and everything, there were piles of cars. And I remember a joy welled up in my spirit later in the night. I said, I'm doing this for your glory, with all honor, with all honor, with all honor.